Is it possible that you could just tell us the cure? Raymond asks, raising his voice and pushing his glasses up over desperate eyes. There isn't a cure, I tell him. Then how can we be normal? His voice lowers back to its usual frightened tone. This is such a waste of time, Jack mutters loud enough for everyone to hear. You're testing us, aren't you? This is all a test, and Jack is stopping us from getting the answer, isn't he? He directs the question to me before turning to Jack. Don't you understand, Jack? You believing this is a waste of time really is making it a waste of time. We'll never progress if you don't let go. This is all Eastern philosophy in action. Jack responds, Oh, really? I was of the thought that it's a waste of time because you won't let go of your desire for it to not be a waste of time. Let go of your desires, Raymond. This is all an Eastern philosophy mind trick, and you're ruining it for the whole group. Raymond lowers his defeated gaze to the coffee cup resting on his thigh. I have something to bring to the table, Colby interjects. Say it then, Colby, I respond. It's about my addiction, he says. What addiction? I ask. My social media addiction. I realized there is some utility in Wait! I cut him off. Bro, you said you overcame that addiction 2 weeks ago, Jack adds. I never said I overcame the addiction. I said I stopped using social media. Don't you understand how addictions work? You can't expect me to never use it again. I'm an addict. He's right. That is what the science says about addiction, Raymond adds, happily teaming up against Jack. Wait, I reiterate. My tone becomes impassioned, so I take a subtle breath before asking, what did you just say? I told Jack it's wrong for him to expect me to never use again, Colby answers. No, after that. What did you say after that? What is the reason he can't expect you to never use again? I told him I'm an addict. So you are an addict. You're not Colby. You're not a child of God. You're an addict. At the core of your being, the most fundamental aspect of your identity is addiction. That's who you are? You are addiction? Colby squirms in his chair to raise his chest at the challenge and says, well, I mean, I'm those things also. I'm a human and an addict. I turn towards Jack and ask, you're a human, aren't you? I am, Jack says confidently. Oh, are you addiction? I am not addiction, no, Jack says. Oh, okay. Jack, could you pull up the definition of addict on your phone? I turn to Raymond. Raymond, are you human? No, I am not. I mean, yes, sorry, I thought you were going to ask me if I'm an addiction, Raymond says. Jack chimes back in. Definition of addict, someone with a strong inclination to do, use, or indulge in something repeatedly. Facing Colby now, I ask, do you understand what we are getting at? No, I'm quite confused, actually. I explain further. There is nothing more potentially redeeming or demeaning than the way you perceive yourself. Colby ponders the information, then looks to Raymond for a response. Raymond seems eager to help him win the argument as he says to me, do you think he should lie about who he is? It's factually true to say he has participated in addiction. Given that pretext, we can logically say that he is in fact an addict. This seems like we're going in a circle of semantics. Leaning back in my chair to create space to think, I respond, all right, let's think this through. You two are in agreement that it is accurate to say Colby is an addict because he has a strong inclination to indulge in harmful behaviors repeatedly. Is that correct? I agree, Raymond says, with Colby immediately repeating him. What if Colby came to a point in life when the proclivity suddenly vanished and the burden of desire was removed? Would he still be an addict? Colby speaks up for himself now. Well, I mean, yeah. Because even if I'd found the willpower to stop doing the habit, I'd still be fighting the urge every day. The inclination would still be the same. No. You're seeing this abstract idea of addiction as your reality. You're calling yourself an addict and you're putting that identity at the core of who you are. It's like dripping snake venom into a bowl and calling it dinner. The snake venom has nothing to do with the essential purpose of the bowl or with dinner. Rather than sit passively with this bowl of snake venom and try to figure out how to survive off of it, maybe we should ask, why is there poison in the dinner bowl? All right, two different things happening here. This is the time of elaborations. That is what I'll do now. I will elaborate on what is happening here. For those listeners who have been paying attention to the entirety of all of these short stories, you might be a little lost. So I just want to elaborate on the fact that all of these stories are connected. New characters. So now we're hearing this story and it's like, oh, we've got a bunch of new characters coming in and they're in the middle of a conversation. And I understand that the introduction of these new characters and their location brings up a lot of questions. It's like, well, who are any of these characters and where are they having this conversation and why are they having a conversation like it's a AA meeting? What's going on here? What is this? And why has the main character, what is the authority of the main character? Why is he speaking to these other Raymond and Jack and Colby? Why is he speaking to them with authority? So the elaboration is that all of these are the same story. And the very first story was visiting my friend Joel in his garden, and we learned more about Joel, and that was far into the future. That part of the story exists years and years into the future. And I'm not for sure at this point how far it exists in the future because I'm on the journey like you're on the journey. We're all on this journey together. So I am writing this story and I have questions in my mind. And as these questions arise in my mind, I answer them through continuing the story. So I myself don't know who Joel, I don't know who Raymond is. I don't know who Jack, Colby. I don't even know the main character's name. I don't know the main character's name at this point, which isn't super relevant. But I'm on this journey also, and I've got those same questions as to why are they meeting. And the further that we go, the more information certainly is going to be revealed. But rest assured, it will be coherent. It is all the same story. So I just wanted to say that piece, that all of this is the same story. For those who have been listening and may be feeling a bit lost, I guess the main focal point of not the focal point, but the main purpose of this story relative to the other stories is to learn about the narrator. Who is the narrator? What is his role? And we saw in the previous story that he quit his job, and that's when he met Joel. So it's like, well, the next question is, well, is this the job that he quit? Was he like a psychologist type of individual, and he quit that job? That was the job that he quit? No, I don't know what this job is that he's doing quite yet, because last time I'll say it, I'm on the journey as well, but things are going to get revealed. Things are certainly going to get revealed. So, to the focal point of, there's macro focal points of the grand story, which is what I'm talking about right now. There's micro, smaller focal points. And the essence of this story, the focal point of this story is, why am I addicted? Why do I suffer from addiction? Why am I an addict? More so the first few questions there, less so why am I an addict, but why am I addicted is the focal point. So we've got this character, Colby, and they're all in a meeting, and Colby brings up, they're trying to discuss, they're all trying to solve a problem in this meeting. Clearly, we don't quite yet know what the problem that they're trying to solve is quite yet, but we know that they all have a unified purpose. That's why they're in this meeting. And clearly Jack thinks that whatever that which they're trying to solve, Jack thinks it cannot be solved. That's why he says this is such a waste of time. And Raymond believes that the narrator, the lens through which we're seeing the story untold, the authority figure in this scene, has all of the answers, and he's doing some philosophy trick or psychology trick to try to ease them into the answer. But the narrator is telling Raymond that there is no cure. He doesn't have the answer. And then a even smaller problem comes to fruition, which is a more tangible problem, which Colby's bringing up, this issue of his addiction to social media. And he's trying to justify it. He starts off by saying that he's discovered recently that there's utility in social media. And it's, in my opinion, the same with all addictions, whether it's alcohol, cannabis, social media, nicotine, caffeine, drugs. Whatever the addiction is, what Colby is doing here is the same thing that I think a lot of people do, which is what I do, what everybody does. Justifies the addiction as a part of him. The addiction is something fundamental to who he is as a person, and he's trying to live with it. And so he's saying that he's discovered recently that there is utility in the addiction. And the main character, before he can continue justifying it, the narrator slaps break down his justification and focuses on this fact of identity. And he's like, why are you saying that you are an addict? Why are you not seeing yourself as a human or a child of God, or even just your name, Colby? Why are you claiming to be an addict? And Colby keeps trying to justify it, and Raymond jumps in, and they're trying to use scientific paradigms, saying that science has proved their argument, and that the definition of addict has proved their argument, which is it is a part of who he is, Colby is, this addiction. And the narrator is trying to make this argument that it's a very fascinating argument, because the way that you see yourself is at the absolute root of who you are. Everything else springs forth from that perception, that identity. So if you imagine somebody who truly has a relationship with God and they see themselves as a child of the highest good, perfect truth, ultimate reality, they see themselves as a child of the highest good. And every moment of every day, time is moving forward, and the world is tempting them. Time is the pressure that the world uses to tempt. And every moment that time is doing that to this person who sees themselves as a child of God, they are essentially impenetrable. Because what is the value for somebody? What is the value of social media to somebody who believes themselves a child of the Creator, of the highest good, of the source of everything that is good? What is the value of social media in that scenario? The value of social media is in that point would be a utility insofar as it is useful to bringing forth the kingdom. So there is the kingdom of God. You see yourself as a child within that kingdom. And you're going to use social media for benevolent purpose. But if you are in a position like Raymond Colby, with the support of Raymond, if you're in the position of Colby and you see yourself as a victim, what are you a victim to? What are you a victim to? You're a victim to the wind blowing in the world, whatever direction the wind blows. And it's true that the most powerful tool is the way that you perceive yourself. It can be the most demeaning or the most redeeming way to change your life. But if you're in a position of somebody like Colby and you are identifying with the victimhood of addiction and you feel like you are compelled to use it and you've got this deep-rooted desire, this deep-rooted proclivity that's inextricable from you, you cannot take it away from you. You cannot take it away from yourself because something, for some reason, you need it. It's at the core of who you are. Then at that point, it's the reason why it's like a dinner, it's like a bowl that there is snake venom is because there is food in the world. There is nourishing food, yet you're choosing to dine on poison. And I heard a quote the other day that says, some people eat and drink to live. Some people live to eat and drink. And I don't have that quote exactly right, but it's alluding to the fact that some people are trying to, some people own, the reason why they eat and drink, all of the food that they put into their body is aligned with their life's purpose, the whole reason why they're alive. But some people don't have a reason why they're alive, or they choose not to see it. And so they just go from one meal to the next. They get to a point where they just need that next meal, that next dopamine hit, that next bit of sugar. But that which they're feeding themselves, that they view as honey, as sugar, is poison. And it just gives them a little bit of a dopamine hit that they can use to get to the next time that they scroll on social media. And they receive that catharsis. So, why am I addicted? Why am I addicted? If I would, you see people in the world who, there are people in the world who are content, certainly, who are happy, who are fulfilled, who are on their wave, they're on a strong purpose. They have a benevolent reason, a divine reason, you could say, to be alive. So it does exist, a reason to live that is greater than the tangible food, the things that we're addicted to, social media, sugar, bad foods. There is a reason to live separate than your next meal. It's not just about sensual pleasure of taste and feeling good. There's something that transcends these practical pleasures. And that which precedes the practical pleasures are life itself. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to see it. Because when you're in the midst of addiction, say social media, there's a hole being, you're filling a hole. And it's a hole of purpose, in my opinion. It's the hole of a person that has a why can bear any how. And I say that because if I had the proper why, if I had a proper strong reason as to why I'm alive, why I do the things that I do, then I wouldn't need these temporary pleasures, these pleasures that give me just a little bit of dopamine just to keep going forward, just so I can get to the next dopamine hit. So, why am I addicted? Why am I addicted? There is something that I want, that I need to do in my life. There's something specific calling out to me, something that I need to accomplish, a burden that I need to carry, a responsibility that I need to put upon my shoulders. But it's so hard and so difficult. So I choose not to do it, but I feel so empty when I choose not to do it. And so I need something to get me through that emptiness. But it's an emptiness that has come about because I'm denying my life's purpose. And if I were to stop denying my life's purpose, it would require me to do the thing that is most fearful, of which fear is most permeating from that direction. But I would be fulfilling my life's purpose. And in that fulfillment of life's purpose, I wouldn't be empty because I'd be fulfilled. And I would no longer be addicted.